Our next Algebra CD assignment is solving systems with substitution, which many of you have also seen, but it is a very good review and something we need to be able to do. So I've written here the 5 steps of solving a system with substitution. So the first one is solve one of the equations for x or y. For today, one of your equations will be solved for x or y, so you won't have to worry about that part. That'll probably be on Monday. Part 2 is we substitute this expression into the other equation, and I'll show you what all of this means on a couple of problems. Then what we end up with is an equation that only has one type of variable, so we can solve that equation. When we get an answer, it'll either say x equals something or y equals something, and then we're going to substitute this answer into either of the equations to find the other variable, because there are 2 variables and we need to know both of them. And remember that your answer should be the coordinates x comma y. So for problem number 1, our first equation is x plus y equals 6. In our second equation, it says x equals negative 3y. So we can see that x is the same, because it says equals, to negative 3y, which means that they're interchangeable. It shouldn't matter which one you use. So instead of this x in the other equation, I'm going to substitute for negative 3y, which means that my equation now says negative 3y, and I'm going to write the rest of the equation, plus y equals 6. I have substituted and made that my negative 3y. But now I only have one type of variable, so I can solve for my variable, I can solve for y. So combining like terms, negative 2y plus y is negative 2y, negative 3y, sorry, and it equals 6. And if we divide both sides by negative 2, we get y equals negative 3. So we have one of our answers. Now we know that y is negative 3. It's not a mystery, which means I know that this is negative 3. I can plug negative 3 into either equation. I'm going to choose that one. So my equation now says x equals negative 3, y, which I know is a negative 3 from what we just solved here, and negative 3 times negative 3 is 9, which means that the solution is the coordinates 9 comma negative 3. Because remember, what we're really doing is figuring out where 2 lines cross if we had decided to graph them. Okay, the next problem. We're going to go over 3 problems. Okay, problem number 2. Y equals 2x and 7x minus y equals 15. So we have that y is the same, the same, as 2x, which means instead of this y right there, we're going to write a 2x. So our problem is going to say 7x minus 2x, it's important that you don't lose that negative, equals 15. Now I can combine like terms. 7x minus 2x is 5x equals 15. I can divide both sides by 5, and I get x equals 3. So I have half of my answer so far. So if I want the other half, I now know that x equals 3. It's no longer a mystery. So if I put a 3 where that x is, I'd have y equals 2 times 3, which means that y equals 6. So putting those two together, that means that these 2 lines cross at 3, 6. So that is where those 2 lines cross. And one more problem. If we have the problem x equals 15 minus y, we now know that x is the same as 15 minus y. That means that they're interchangeable, doesn't matter which one you use. So in the second equation, instead of this x, I'm going to put a 15 minus y. Well, what you'll notice is that there's already a coefficient in front of that x. This makes it a distributing problem because 4x means 4 times whatever you're substituting in for x. So we end up with this problem, which means we need to then distribute our 15. Our 4. So 4 times 15 is 60. 4 times negative y is a negative 4y, and we still have plus 3y equals 38. If we combine like terms, those are like terms, so we now have 60 minus 1y equals 38. And if we subtract 60 from both sides, we get negative 1y equals negative 22. And then we can't have a negative y. Our y has to be positive. So if we divide both sides by -1, we get y equals positive 22. So now y is no longer a mystery. It is 22. So in our original equation up here, I now know that y is 22. So I can substitute, again, because I know what y is, it's not a mystery, for 22. So it says x equals 15 minus 22, which means that x equals a -7. Putting those two together, alphabetical order, that means that these two lines cross at -7, 22. So today's word of the day for your turn-in form is substitution. Make sure you write that down so that you spell it correctly. And your assignment for today is solving systems with substitution. It is due Friday, March 27th. Make sure you're correcting it as you go. Make sure you're filling in that turn-in form. Also, a little reminder, if you think you found an answer that is wrong on the answer key, let me know. Remember, I make mistakes all the time. You guys just get to now find them virtually. So if you find an error, let me know, and I will make a mark on the assignment page itself. Okay, if you have any questions, let me know. Have a great day.